This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. Fever. I got the house. I got the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this trying to be the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. Too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be here just like this. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Why you still want to hear him, man? That's what I get. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You ain't gonna work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Fever. I got the house. I got the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Nope, game's not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is Oh My Goodness Monday. And not so much of a lot of oh my goodness stuff this weekend with this weekend's world of sports. I know everybody was saying how the Pro Bowl was better than they can remember. I didn't watch it. Don't care. 41-35 AFC over the NFC. It's Super Bowl weekend. If the Pro Bowl did it for you, good for you. That's like the appetizer I don't want. I'll take the main course. Super Bowl 56 happening this weekend live in LA. The Cincinnati Bengals, Who Dey, hosting the LA Rams in Super Bowl 56, 5:30 Sunday, live on NBC. That's what I want. I don't want a salad. I don't want an appetizer. Bring me that right there. Bring me that right there. So I'm ready for it. Of course, coaching is still big in the NFL. We're still hearing rumors, published reports now saying that the Texans are close to making Lovie Smith their next head coach of the organization. Just earlier this weekend, we heard that they were down to two candidates, and everyone assumed that it was Josh McCown and McCown. I'm sorry, I got to quit saying his name wrong because people don't think I know his real name. If you keep up, you'll know that not only do I know his real name, I'm trying to figure out why it's still being mentioned in NFL coaching circles. But anyway, I digress. Trying to get my studio light in together. All right, there you go. There's that pretty face of mine. So anyway, Josh McCown and I guess we assumed that it was Brian Flores. But either some of the reports are wrong or there are other reports because Lovie Smith is reportedly close to getting the deal done. Brian Flores will be out in the cold, and Josh should be out in the cold. The fact that he was even a finalist is embarrassing. It's just more of an organization that can't get out of its own way. Lovie Smith should have gotten the job back when Bill O'Brien got the job. I know you can't go back and, well, I take that back. I was about to say, I know you can't go back and rewrite history, but there's some folks that seem to do it all the time. But he might finally be getting his shot. And it's a shot that he deserves. And yeah, I used the D word. He deserves that shot. It's Black History Month, and there is no missing the fact that he and Tony Dungy were the first two black head coaches to get their teams to the Super Bowl. They both did it in the same game. Tony Dungy, first black head coach to win the Super Bowl when Indianapolis beat the Chicago Bears. But I will never negate the fact that Lovie Smith got the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as his starting quarterback. And all you analytical analysts and brilliant sports broadcast journalists can say everything you want to say, but tell me who else was going to get their team to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. And that's what Lovie Smith did. Well, AJ, he got a shot in Tampa. Well, he got fired in Chicago when he was 10-6. How'd that work out for him? Went to a very nonsensical Tampa Bay Buccaneer team at the time and really didn't get a chance to develop the rookie quarterback that he had, young guy by the name of Jameis Winston. Had to go to Illinois, but AJ, look what he did in Illinois. Who else has turned Illinois around? Show me where Illinois is wrecking folks in the Big Ten. And then he comes back to the NFL as a defensive coordinator in one of the worst run organizations in the NFL. And now he is about to be tabbed as the next guy to come in here and just kind of stabilize. To me, he's the next Dusty Baker. Hey, we're a mess. You're steady-handed, even keel. Come in here and save us. So we'll see. We'll see what decision they make. It's kind of an oh my goodness. Let me take a break. I'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Your car payment treating you. What if I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. That's 800-811-4169.
Not allowed to qualify for a loan or rate savings. Actual offer terms include APR and HO at the time of your application based on credit worthiness, value, vehicle loan term, and other factors.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
I'm Jacqueline Carr, and here is your winning strategy. I understand that there's a lot of young people who's listening and who always listen to the show, and I want you to understand that as a youth, it's imperative that you know who is hearing God for you. Your mother, your father, your pastor, your leaders, your mentors, they're in your life to hear God and to teach you proper values. It doesn't matter how old you are. In every season, in every point of our lives, at every age. We all need somebody that we can listen to that hears God even on our behalf when we cannot hear God. When your leaders inform you that it's not wise to be a part of a certain thing, a certain crowd, it's important that you take heed because they're informing you because he or she sees something greater in you and they're trying to protect the purpose and the anointing that is upon your life.
You're having too much on the lunch break with KYOK.
All right, back here on the lunch break. Oh my goodness, Monday. Not so much of an oh my goodness weekend sports-wise for me. I just wasn't impressed with it. Go Pro Bowl, Holly. All right. The NHL skills competition was kind of hot. I like that. BS3 Network, of course. They've tuned in. Ben Sutter the third, all the good folks over at the BS3 TV network. Thanks for getting us hooked up on Roku. But the Olympics, okay, all right. The favorite in the giant slalom, she fell, so now she won't be able to win the gold medal. But she's in like 3 or 4 other events, so she's got a chance to win in those other events. Big deal though with the women's team skating. The U.S. won the silver medal, first time ever, and that's kind of hot. Mike Patton. So Lovey might be staying in town as the head coach. I got so many thoughts there. Mike, I'm embarrassed, bro. I really am. I'm serious, man. It's one thing to be, I don't know. I got to be careful with what I say. All right, it's the Texans organization. They need a lot of help on the inside of the building because right now it looks kind of crazy. In fact, a very interesting article that I just read. Where was it? About Jack Easterby. Yeah. Who wrote this? Dan Witzel says Jack Easterby may not know much about operating a football team, but he definitely knows how to stay one step ahead of anyone and everyone who may be trying to drag him down. The Jack Easterby, bro, is just, where did this dude come from? Jack Easterby was a part-time, unpaid chaplain for the Kansas City Chiefs and then ended up getting pulled into New England. And once you get pulled in there, it's like being ordained as the Pope. And from there, now he's the second man in charge. It's Cal McNair, it's Jack Easterby, and it's Nick Caserio. How that happens is beyond me. And literally tried to get his friend Josh McCown hired as the head coach last season before they hired David Culley. And I'll be doggone if he didn't make his buddy a finalist again. I don't know who this dude is. I probably should be very careful about how I say his name. I should be very careful about how I say his name. He clearly has some juice. I mean, Mike Patton touring the AFC South. Jack Easterby has truly failed upward. Bruh, I seriously. So, anyway, we'll see how this all plays out. In fact, Mike Patton and I talked, what was it, Mike, Wednesday night about the coaching searches and all of that. I'm going to play that clip. My producer apologized to you, Mike, that he didn't get that in this past Friday because, we obviously had Kim White Davis, and we honored her as the first Black woman broadcast journalist and sports writer in the city of Houston. And we did that whole segment just took on a life of its own. So he sent me that in the lineup for today to play this. So in fact, after I take this next break, I want to come back with that segment with me and Mike Patton where we were talking about the coaching searches. Now, what's going to be interesting is what we talked about then and what has transpired now. What's interesting about what has transpired now, Roger Goodell all but told y'all that Brian Flores is right. Roger Goodell all but told y'all that Brian Flores is, after he got done, with his little dynamic, oh yeah, he's a frivolous lawsuit and it's ridiculous. And we, the fiber of diversity is everything that we stand for. And then after he calmed down with all that nonsense, he goes, yeah, our hiring practices just really need a lot of work. Just really need a lot of work. And oh yeah, by the way, we are going to check into the Miami Dolphins if they indeed tried to pay this coach to lose games. So in other words, it's a frivolous lawsuit. There's no merit to it. He's right, and we're going to check into his allegations, but it's no merit. It's frivolous. Which one is it? Is there no merit to it, and is it frivolous, or are your hiring practices far, far inferior when it comes to diversity and inclusion? And do you need to check into whether or not one of your arrogant owners decided that he was going to tilt the scale and pay people to lose on purpose? Which one is it? Because right now you're saying he was right. Let me take a break. I'll come back. I'll have that clip with Mike Patton on it when we come back right here on the lunch break. We're talking about coaching and all that kind of stuff in the NFL. Oh, my goodness, Monday here on the lunch break.
Pastors, beware. You have the right to remain silent, and you better make sure you do.
Trustee, the IRS can take your church and personal bank account if you're not in compliance. There are new IRS laws regulating pastor appreciation and anniversary love offerings. The Clergy Tax and Law Seminar is coming to Houston Wednesday, February 9th at the Doubletree Hobby Airport. A special DVD is available for free if you call right now. 800.
We're back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new
0076. You must attend this Clergy Tax and Law Conference. Call now, 800-344-0076. That's 800-344-0076, or go to cmtc.org. Dr. Michael Chitwood is coming to help you. Call now, 800-344-0076. That's 800-344-0076. God cannot bless a mess. Get your house in order.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity? Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from. In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. See you there. Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian to Me show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org.
KYOK at the lunch break, and I'm Raven Rogers.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break. Here's that clip I was telling you about from me and Mike Patton.
92.3 FM, and I appreciate Mr. Touring the AFC South, Mike Patton, for joining us here for this segment. Mike, first of all, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Just thankful for another day, man.
I know that feeling. Brother, a lot has happened since the beginning of the week. We were talking about, the Super Bowl and Cincinnati and Kansas City and the Rams and the 49ers. And then all heck broke loose with Brian Flores. Real quick, man, just give me your thoughts and feelings about the situation at hand with him.
Well, honestly, am I surprised by any of the things that he said? No. But it still doesn't make it not surprising to hear a lot of it, especially the coach paying you $100,000 per loss, basically.
Right.
That's when I heard that amount, I was like, is he serious? But, since then, Hugh Jackson has actually said that the Cleveland Browns owner offered him that. And then I don't know if you saw, but Marvin Lewis was talking about his experience when he was being interviewed for the Carolina Panthers job when John Fox already had the job, essentially. So,
oh wow.
All of these stories are coinciding. It's been going on for a while now. And, it doesn't surprise me to hear this. One thing does surprise me is that Bill Belichick doesn't know how to operate text messages very well.
I have gotten to the place where I'm not quite sure if Bill Belichick did that on purpose, intentionally, or if he just stumbled into it the way he's trying to make it seem like he did.
I don't think Bill Belichick did that on purpose. I think he made a mistake, and I don't think enough people are actually kind of calling him out on the mistake either, to be honest.
Okay. All right. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, do I think he's a kind of part of these things? Yes, he's partly a part of these things. Because, honestly, how would he know that a coach that isn't on his coaching staff, he knows Brian Daboll through the coaching circuit and things like that. But how would he know to reach out to a coach that isn't on his coaching staff to tell him about this job, that job, when he's interviewing, all those type of things? How would he know that? It just is questionable.
I got you on that. I definitely got you on that. We got Mike Patton joining us here on the lunch break. I got you on that. I guess I was trying to be too benevolent, thinking that maybe Bill Belichick was trying to give some ammunition for one of his former coaches, Brian Flores, to see what was going on. That, you haven't even interviewed for this job yet, and they've already basically given it to Brian Daboll, and here we are.
Yeah, but the reason why I don't believe that he did that, trying to give him a heads up, is because both of those are his guys. So I really don't. That's why. If it wasn't both of them his guys, I may give some credence to the actual argument there. But nah, both of them are his guys. I don't think he would do that on purpose.
Well, Mike, that's one of the many reasons why I wanted to have you on, brother, because you're a dude that I like the way you see things. I like the way you break them down. And so, again, this is amazing. And I said on my show that if this is true, that Stephen Ross was going to pay him $100,000 to lose games, this is as big as the bounty situation in New Orleans. This is as big as a point shaving scandal. This is as big as betting on baseball, because you are affecting the credibility of the outcome. And one of the biggest new partners of the NFL, casinos, DraftKings, and all that kind of stuff. So this cannot go uninvestigated. And right now, the NFL is just saying, "Oh, we know that's not true." You better check your resources. You better check your books.
Well, actually, it just came out that the NFL actually is going to investigate those claims.
Okay.
The one in Miami. So they're going to look into that one. Anything that Stephen Ross has done or whatever is going to come out, even if it isn't exactly about this. So any skeleton he's got in his closet could potentially come out in this investigation.
Yeah, translation, somebody with some juice called Roger Goodell and say, listen, I don't care about none of that other stuff. Find out what went on down there in Miami. Because we talked about that again, that Roger Goodell is the perfect commissioner for the owners. The owners can tell Roger what to do, and he does it. And he does it in a way that there's very little blowback on them. Somebody called with some juice, and Roger Goodell made sure an investigation got open. So I think that's the case there. Now, what do you think can and will come out of this lawsuit?
Well, honestly, I hope that NFL owners and that players are paying attention to this as well. Do I think I'm hopeful that things will change? That, I mean, the only reason we even have a Rooney Rule is because, they weren't even looking our way. And then secondly, then you had to incentivize it to even get them to interview black head coaches, which are head coaching candidates. So that'll tell you a lot in itself. Hopefully, it'll break up some of the good old boy network. And well, in that instance, I hope so. But I'll say this honestly, I'm not sure how much happens. I hope a lot happens. I hope a lot changes. But, given the 400 plus years of things going wrong in our way, I'm not going to be like, okay, this is the change. It's going to happen. I'm going to be like, okay, let me watch and see what goes on and watch what even killed and watch what happens.
Mike Patton, touring the AFC South, joining us here on the lunch break. You stimulate thought in me. Think about this. They weren't even interviewing us. They weren't even trying to interview us. So they put the Rooney Rule in place. And instead of them using the Rooney Rule to do the right thing, what did they do? They started finding ways around the Rooney Rule to the point where they had to incentivize it to make it work more effectively. And now you got people going around that. In other words, this is not going to change overnight. They're doing this way because this is how they want to do it.
Right. Correct. And also what I would mention too is he did interview for the Saints job and the Texans job. So he's still a candidate for both jobs. And the general manager for the Saints actually knew about the lawsuit. He actually told him ahead of time to give him a heads up that lawsuit was coming.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I got a lot of respect for Mickey Loomis, not so much Nick Caserio here in Houston, but Mickey Loomis has been a straight up and down dude. I really feel like that New Orleans job is going to go to Dennis Allen, and I think it should. That's the most logical fit. But, the Texans job, so they're trying to decide between Brian Flores, they're trying to decide between Kevin O'Connell and Josh McCown. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're trying to decide between legitimate coaches and a dude that has never coached a single play in the NFL. That's a slap in the face to all of the coaches and folks who have paid their dues in the NFL.
Well, I'll say this: Kevin O'Connell is now the coach in Minnesota, actually. So okay, Minnesota Vikings have named him. Jim Harbaugh decided he was going to go back to Michigan. So, yeah, or either that or they didn't offer him the job. One of the two happened. But anyway, Kevin O'Connell is now the new head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. So now you can bring it down to McCown and Flores, which we know what's going to end up happening more than likely there.
Yep, Jack Easterby and Nick Caserio are not going to pick Brian Flores, and the Texans are unfortunately going to be stuck with a dude that should not even be in this discussion, let alone in this position. And I told him I cannot wait to get my media credentials taken because I'm going to be the guy at the press conference asking the same questions that others in the media asked David Culley all year long. Why do you feel like you should even have this job? What do you feel like you bring to the table to keep this job? And in about 2-3 weeks in, I'm going to keep asking, do you feel like you've done enough to earn this job? I'm going to be that dude. They're just going to have to snatch my credentials.
Well, I hear you there. And then in this kind of thing that's happening with Josh McCown even being in this head coaching search or being a finalist is the exact reason Brian Flores is actually filing his lawsuit.
Absolutely. I told him on the show. So the first black coach in the NFL was Fritz Pollard back in 1922 when the NFL changed over to the NFL. and then the first black head coach in the modern era, Art Shell. And Al Davis did that. It's not like the
Right.
commissioner said, hey, let's get this black. Al Davis did that. In 2022, 1922, 1989, in 2022, we got one black head coach. One.
Yep, definitely. And Jacksonville had their chance to hire a black head coach in Byron Leftwich, but as we saw, that kind of fell apart at the seams.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Okay, well, we're going to see how this plays out. One of the things I know from having had some of that responsibility under me in corporate America is the NFL does not want this to go to the discovery phase. A lot of folks thought that Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed settled for the money. That was not the case at all. The NFL could not let that case or this one go to the discovery phase, because when they've got to legally turn over all documents, all communications, all text messages, all emails, it gets a little sketchy, as we see with them and the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, definitely. And, you still probably don't have all the documents that are out there that were looked at. I think just Gruden's was the one that caught their eye, and they're like, oh, well, we can go here, and kind of divert everyone's attention from the rest of things that may be in there.
You said it best. It was a diversion. All right, let's get off the diversion. Let's get to the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts about the Cincinnati Bengals?
I mean, you can just simply say they cannot be denied. I mean, they went into every single game except for the Las Vegas Raiders game, and they were the underdog. No one really expected them to win. Well, some expected them to win against the Titans. Nobody expected them to win against Kansas City Chiefs. So obviously, when they were down 21-3 or 21-10 at that point, or 3-10, anyway. At halftime, no one expected them to come back, but yet here they were. Here's Joe Burrow shrugging off Chris Jones out of the backfield and running down the sideline to get a first down. Here's Joe Mixon running the football and making things happen there. And there's T. Higgins popping up, being the other guy to Jamar Chase's Batman. So
absolutely.
I got to commend them. And I also cannot go any further without saying I have to commend their defense. Yeah. Because in the first half, they weren't mixing up any coverages. They basically were backing off the Kansas City receivers and letting them do whatever they wanted. Second half, I said it at halftime, they have to mix up these coverages at least. Second half, they mixed up coverages. I don't know what Patrick Mahomes was doing. He just started ripping and running around. And they stopped running the football. Those things, a combination of those things, got the Bengals back in the ball game, and props to them for taking advantage of their opportunity and winning the game instead of playing to lose at that point.
Right. Mike Patton joining us here from touring the AFC South here on the lunch break. I was on a friend's podcast up in Cincinnati. And he says, what are your thoughts about the Bengals? I said, when do you count them out? If you can't count them out after getting sacked 9 times, if you can't count them out when they're down by 18, when can you count them out? If you can't count them out, then, man, hey, listen, they got as good of a chance as anybody to win. And this Super Bowl is not out of reach for them.
Right. I mean, so, everyone's thinking that the Rams will win this Super Bowl just because they're playing at home and they're probably the more talented team on offense and defense, but you definitely can't count them out because Joe Burrow can make some things happen, obviously, and that defense is a little better than what people want to give it credit for.
Yeah, we got Mike Patton joining us here on the lunch break. So, Mike, tell me what you think about the Rams. Obviously, their defense is what they're most known for, but, man, Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., boy, I tell you what, I'm happy for him. And, we know Von Miller from this area. So there's a lot of things to like about that LA Rams team. What are your thoughts about them?
Well, my thoughts are the biggest thing I think they did was a philosophical change in this playoffs. They ran the football more. They had Cam Akers there. They had Sonny Michel. And that focus on running the football more, I think, brought a different element to that offense other than the regular season where they were dropping back and throwing the football a lot, especially when they played against the Titans, and that just didn't end well. So, to me, I think that renewed emphasis on the running game was a big thing for them, and it put everything in proper perspective with the Cooper Kupp running the ends across the end routes across the middle. You got Odell Beckham inside, outside, doing things there, and then you just had a full offense as opposed to an offense that you just have to stop the passing game because they're not going to run the football, and you have to commend them for that. Defensively, I'll say that they stepped up at the right time. Right. Because in the first half, they weren't necessarily – they were kind of, a little iffy. But when Aaron Donald, the quietest man on the team, gathers the whole defense and tells them what they need to do, they went out there, shut it down, and did what they were supposed to do to win that game.
Yeah, I gave San Francisco credit for how they game planned Aaron Donald and Von Miller in the first half. But you can't keep them down forever. And sure enough, they both made plays in the second half that were impactful to that game. And you brought up a very good point. So Matthew Stafford is a veteran quarterback, but he's not a veteran playoff quarterback. He does not have a lot of playoff experience. So for them to just drop back and let him throw the ball 50 times, 60 times all over the field and everything like that is not wise. They wouldn't do that with a rookie quarterback. So realizing that Matthew Stafford needs to be put in a position where he can be most successful. Oh, yeah, we got two pretty good running backs. Why don't we literally establish the run and not just say we're establishing the run? And now they look like a whole different team. Right.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, the 49ers did have their opportunities to win this game.
True that.
They did drop a pass. Tart did drop a pass, hit him right in his hands. It was like a punt. And he just dropped it. I mean, we see why he doesn't return punts anymore.
Man. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Then you also, the last two series, which is key, the 49ers did not run the ball once.
Right.
That's huge. Jimmy G try to beat you, I think anybody will take those odds.
Yeah. I've got a real good friend that is the biggest 49ers fan I know next to you. He called in earlier last week or earlier this week, and he was heartbroken because I've been telling him, I said, man, we saw Kyle Shanahan here in Houston. We saw Kyle Shanahan in Washington. We saw Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta, and he had always got off to a great start, but at some point he would get tunnel vision and would forget how to run the ball, and it would always cost him, and guess what? It did it again.
Definitely. And eventually I think that's something he'll have to learn from and grow from. I mean, he did get an extension out of the 49ers, so, you knew that was coming. They're not going to let him go anywhere. But,
right.
Eventually he's going to have to learn that, or he's not. He's going to be out of a job, and it's going to cost him big time. So It's already cost him big time a couple of times already.
Oh, man, listen, he was minutes away from winning his first Super Bowl, and, of course that didn't happen. We got Mike Patton joining us here on the lunch break. Mike, I don't know why I keep calling you Matt for some reason, man. Mike, before we close this segment, San Francisco and your Titans have something in common, and that's that the quarterbacks didn't quite do what they were expected to do. I know that the 49ers are probably going to move away from theirs. The chances of y'all moving away from Ryan Tannehill are slim and nil, would you say?
I would definitely say it's slim and none, just because the salary cap and ramifications, and if trying to trade him, those ramifications there too. Definitely.
Yeah. So what do they do then to make sure that they don't have a repeat of this season?
Well, what I believe is going to happen, I believe they're going to just run it back with what they have. And I believe they're thinking that the injuries kind of threw off their rhythm and that they can get back in that rhythm again. And another thing I would think of doing is also drafting a younger quarterback, have him sit behind Ryan Tannehill, and then go from there. However, there are rumors that Aaron Rodgers did buy property and is building a house in Williamson County, and that he's interested in the Titans. But now, do I believe that? No, because plenty of people move here and, they don't play for the Titans.
Yeah.
For some reason, people like moving here. I don't know why. But anyway, do I think that happens? No, I'm not for sure they can get someone to take Tannehill at this point. But I've seen stranger things happen.
I got you. Well, Mike, we got to get ready to go, brother. Please tell everybody where they can find you and follow you with all the amazing work that you do.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at MikePatton82. That's MikePatton 82. You can find my work on, of course, the Nashville Voice. And you can also find my podcast, Touring the AFC South, on all listening platforms. And I got something for you, too.
Okay.
I think Jimmy G probably gets traded or ends up with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, okay. As long as it's not that quarterback from Green Bay, I think I'll be all right. Who goes down to Tampa though, Mike?
I think they go with Kyle Trask, the rookie, the young kid, and see what he's got.
All right. We'll see how it plays out. Mike, thank you for making the time for me, man. You be safe up there in Tennessee with that weather. All right.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back with more right after this on the lunch break.
All right, that was a segment that I pre-recorded with Mike Patton. Good stuff right there. Good stuff. And it was interesting to listen to what we talked about last week and how it's come to fruition this week. Willie Gibson shot me a message that the Texans have told Josh McCown that he is not a finalist. Again, the fact that he even was is an embarrassment. I get it. You got to start somewhere. But doggone it, when you are the Houston Texans, you're coming off of a 4-12 and a 4-13 seasons. You don't need to be talking to a Josh McCown. You don't. So I don't care if they told him today, yesterday, Monday of last week. The fact that they interviewed him more than once, embarrassing. You're wasting time. You're messing with people's livelihoods. You're messing with an entire fan base that doesn't deserve that kind of smoke. So, yeah, Willie, thanks for the heads up. I see all the national folks have jumped on. Oh, the Texans are moving forward with Lovie Smith. It's not a done deal yet. According to my people in the building, and my people in the building have been as accurate as anybody. Because remember, let me just go ahead and say this real fast. Wasn't a lot of people even mentioning Josh McCown, and I told y'all that he was going to be a candidate. I told y'all that they were going to give him serious consideration. Why? Because my folks said so. But the Lovie Smith deal ain't done yet. So again, if I try to tie these stories together and try and make them make sense, maybe the two finalists were not Flores and Josh. Maybe the two finalists were Flores and Lovie. But it's not a done deal yet. And we saw with the Byron Leftwich deal, it wasn't a done deal. And sure enough, now Miami's got, or Jacksonville got a different head coach in Doug Peterson, which I think is not a bad hire. But Leftwich is going back to Tampa. And oh yeah, by the way, Miami has hired a coach as well. We'll talk about Mike McDonald. He literally makes it two black head coaches. His father is black. And you know, here in America, if you got of black blood, you black. You black. I'm sorry. I know certain people don't like to, well, they get to identify for themselves. Y'all had a whole law in place. Y'all had a whole law in place that if you had a certain amount of black blood, you were black. So anyway, Mike Patton, thank you for the opportunity, good brother. Oh, man, I'm telling you, man, I think you're brilliant, Mike. I love your work. Can't wait to see all the great things you're going to do in this business, man. I can't wait till somebody's highlighting you as one of the baddest brothers in the business. So here we go. All right, let me take this break, come back, birthdays. Let's see. I think we got Sybil Wilkes, what you need to know, and then got to get ready for Coach Johnnnie Cole and the HBCU Stroll. Hey, for all you Laker haters out there, I noticed y'all didn't say nothing when they came back and beat those Knicks over the weekend. Oh, my goodness.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
Attention timeshare owners. Are you dissatisfied with your timeshare? Tired of the financial burden? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't want or can't use your timeshare anymore? Then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed fee legal solution in the country with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Our experienced lawyers will evaluate your case, and if we take you on as a client, we will work on your case until it's solved in your favor. That's our 100% satisfaction guarantee. One of our lawyers will keep you informed in the process, all while protecting your rights, interest, and even your credit. Get the relief you need now from the burden of your timeshare. Call now for a free consultation, and don't forget to ask about our stimulus discount program.
Call 800-303-4764. 800-303-4764. That's 800-303-4764.
Hi, this is Candace Houston. Tune into my new radio show called Candid Plug. Every Saturday from noon to 1, we will have engaging conversations on current events, topics that affect the community, and religion. Join me each Saturday from noon to 1 for my new show called Candid Plug, where you plus me equals us, right here on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
It's the lunch break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. If you got a Roku streaming device, go to where you download your shows, look for BS3 TV. BS3 TV. Download it. Got great shows on there, man. I love that marriage show, and I love the show with Ben Sutters III's mom and dad. Love those two shows. I even listened to a show on students dealing with trauma this morning. Loved it. But also in the middle of those shows, the lunch break. Check us out. All right, real quick. The Miami Dolphins bringing in a young man by the name of Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald about to be the new, they've agreed to terms, from what I understand, with Mike McDonald of the, formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, but he is now the new head coach. He's a Yale graduate, 15 years of coaching experience, and he's supposedly pretty creative in the run game and offensive play calling, so we'll see. Apparently he was the play caller with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. Only thing I got to say is this: is he going to remember to run the ball? Because that's where San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan get in trouble. They get pass happy, and I don't think you're going to win with Tua throwing the ball 60, 70 times a game down there. But anyway, Mike McDonald, welcome to the NFL as your first head coach. Again, he's 38 years old, 15 years of experience, and his father is black. He identifies as being biracial. So we technically do have two black head coaches in the NFL now, that being Mike Tomlin and Mike McDonald. So we'll see if Lovie Smith gets the other job. All right, real quick, let me get Sybil Wilkes on what you need to know, and then I'll come back with the birthdays after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, February 7th, 2022. Number 1, the murders of our African-American men sadly remain in our headlines. They include Ahmaud Arbery, Laquan McDonald, and most recently, Amir Locke, who was killed last week in a no-knock warrant entry by Minneapolis police. Jury selection begins today in the federal hate crime trial of the men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery, and protesters, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson, are calling for federal civil rights charges against former Chicago policeman Jason Van Dyke, who served less than half of his 81-month sentence for the murder of the then teenager Laquan McDonald. Number 2, when confronted with questions on your tax return deductions, it's getting all too common for tax authorities to deny everything and then make you prove that your deductions are valid. Don't let this happen to you. Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft has a few ideas to help document and prove your deductions. Check out her article in today's newsletter. Number 3, the coronavirus pandemic reached a grim new milestone in the United States Friday, with the nation's cumulative death toll from COVID-19 surpassing 900,000 people. The sheer volume of Omicron cases fueled a surge in hospitalizations that has strained many U.S. healthcare systems into their limits in recent weeks. Data suggests that Omicron may have hit the United States harder than other countries with younger populations, such as those in Africa. Number 4, Amir Locke, a 22-year-old black man, was shot and killed by police February 2nd as they entered his downtown Minneapolis apartment on a no-knock warrant. Locke had a right to possess the weapon in his own home and was never given the chance to disarm himself in the chaotic moments as police stormed into his apartment without warning. According to interim Minneapolis Police Chief Amelia Huffman, the county attorney's office is still reviewing the shooting and the police body camera video. Number 5. After only 5 years in the sport, speed skater Erin Jackson is number 1 in the world. In November of 2021, Jackson won her first 500-meter speed skating World Cup race in Poland with 2 track records, making her the first Black American woman to win the World Cup. Read more in today's What You Need to Know newsletter, Black History Salute to the academic scholar as she races against the clock while representing and presenting an example for young girls who look like her watching the Olympics from home. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Being different is not a bad thing. It means that you are brave enough to be yourself. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedians Chris Paul, Huggy Lowdown, and social justice activist Coy Malone as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, thank you very much there, Sybil Wilkes, with our What You Need to Know update. And what you need to know is there are birthdays today, birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday going out to my good friend and her twin sister, Judge Stacy Williams. She is celebrating her birthday today up in the DFW area. Erica Harrell is celebrating her birthday today. She's 52, looking like she's 22. And then happy birthday going out to Keith Wyatt. Happy birthday, Shonda Henderson. What's up, fam? From all of your Cullen Missionary Baptist Church family. Stephanie Perry is celebrating a birthday. Sue Akery is 68, looking 38. And Stephanie Freeman celebrating a birthday as well. I got to dip into the weekend because somebody who is like, she really like a daughter to me, but I call her my little sister. Happy birthday, Apollonia Villanueva. She celebrated her 35th birthday along with my brother like no other, Marquis Washington. All right, celebrity birthdays. Got some good ones for you today. Happy birthday going out to none other than Mr. Doom, or excuse me, Dr. Doom, Robert Brazil. Used to play for them Houston Oilers. He was born on this date, 1953, in Alabama. Stanley Roberts used to be part of that double tall man duo at LSU with a young man by the name of Shaquille O'Neal. Stanley Roberts, born on this day in 1970. And a dude who could date my daughter. I'm talking about Juwan Howard from the Fab Five, now the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Juwan Howard left school early and graduated on time. Always got to give him love for that. And then 1974, the world gave us Steve Nash. Yeah, the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, who've now lost, 8 in a row? He was born on this day in Johannesburg, South Africa. And then John Matthew Stafford, better known as Matthew Stafford, the Super Bowl quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, celebrating his birthday today. I didn't realize he was the #1 overall pick for the Detroit Lions back in 2009. Happy birthday, y'all. Come on, Usher.
Oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
All right, happy birthday, happy anniversary to anybody celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, man. Y'all be looking forward to these doggone birthdays because y'all be getting on. You gonna do the birthdays? You gonna do the birthdays? Yeah, I'm gonna do the birthdays, especially if you sent me your birthday. All right, let me get ready to get the Coach Johnnnie Cole on here for our HBCU Stroll. Coach and I talked over the weekend, and man, I think I shocked him, man, because he said something about somebody that, bro, I'll tell you what, man, I'll take one for the team, man. I'll take one for the team if I run into Jason Whitlock, man. I'll take one for the team if I run into Jason Whitlock, man. I'm trying to tell airport, bathroom, restaurant, bowling alley, Doc. We got to go outside, man. We got to go outside. Me and Jason Whitlock, hold my coat, bro. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And don't come out there with me. I got it.
Hey, hey, this is America. Everybody has their opinion. And, I'm one of those people that I like to say I'm a good listener. So
Well, you talked me off the ledge, Coach. You stopped me from committing a violation that I didn't need on my record, Doc. But I tell you what, you let me bump into him at church.
Well, we definitely got a systemic problem in this game called football. Not just in the NFL, on the college level as well, and all through high school. That you have a sport that's have 70 to 75% of the sport is played by African Americans, and you probably got about 10% of black head coaches, or I even should go as far as saying 10% of leadership.
Well, Coach, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let me hit the top of the hour. We'll jump right into it when we come back right after this on the lunch break.
1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All right, y'all. It's the lunch break. Hour number 2 of Oh My Goodness Monday. It's the segment that we call the HBCU Stroll with the Coach, Johnnnie Cole. And Coach Cole, I mean, a lot of questions for you. A lot of questions for you, especially based on what you said. We got a sport that is predominantly played by, especially on the professional level, by African American, 70+%, if not more. And the coaching, the leadership, the front offices do not represent the demographics of the sport that's being played. When you look to the high school and the college level, it really even skews the numbers even more. I remember asking the question on the show with several professional athletes, how many black head coaches did you have playing football growing up? I meant little league, middle school, high school, college, and pros, and the majority of them said none. A couple of them said one. None of them said that they had a black head coach on every one of those levels. None of them. None of them.
Wow.
So here's my question to you. A, what made you get into coaching? And B, what made you follow the HBCU track rather than going to predominantly white schools on the high school or college level?
Well, first of all, it's a funny way I got into coaching is because one of my older brothers got into coaching. And I actually was in college at the time, and he used to come and recruit the Houston area. I went to Texas Southern. And when he came down and recruit the city of Houston, I would ride with him. I either take the day off or during the recruiting time and just go to school just to see what they're doing, just to spend time with him. And it kind of rolled in my lap, you know, and then playing the position of quarterback and having an exceptional head coach who really, really taught me the X's and O's of the game. I kind of was thrust in it by him. He ended up, as soon as I got through playing, he hired me. But looking at my brother, for all those years that he had coached, he was just a coach. He was the recruiting guy. And, you know, I always been a guy that was been out front, leader, most valuable player on every level I ever played on and participated in. So my thing was always, you know, why can't a black school beat white schools, you know? And I know when I played, we used to get beat and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, how can you look at athlete per athlete? And when it comes to the draft, we have more players coming out going to the draft than them. That means if we got better players, we should have a better team and we should be able to win. And we never did and never done. So that thrust me into coaching. And I always wanted to be the big fish in the little pond, not the little fish in a big pond, meaning if I stayed in black college, then I can make the difference. And, fortunately I did, and I have, not for a long time, but I achieved that we can be a head coach at Tennessee State, as you know, AJ, that me and my brother, and really my brother, because he was a head coach, is the only black head coach to take a all-black school and win a predominantly white conference, not just 1 year, 2 years in a row.
Right, the Ohio Valley Conference. You guys
Yes, sir.
won that the 2 years your brother was the head coach there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my journey.
Yeah. We got the Coach Johnnnie Cole joining us here on our HBCU Stroll here on the lunch break. Oh my goodness, Monday. Now, Coach, so you played quarterback. You obviously played football here in Houston. How many go back to Little League? How many black head coaches did you have coming up before you got to Texas Southern?
I've never coached under a white coach, except but in basketball, and that was in high school. All my coaches and from all the way through, growing up on the west side, across the track, have been black.
Yeah.
My high school coach, my elementary Pop Warner coaches, 7th, 8th grade, high school, moving on to Texas Southern, been black coaches.
Who'd you play for in Pop Warner? Who'd you play for in your Little League life?
I played for, the high school teachers there, a guy named Coach Weaver and Coach Collier. Remember those days? And then I played flag football as well, when you couldn't play tackle.
Yeah.
And that was from the boys club. And then I went on to
and I wanted you to bring that out because there are a lot of organizations in the city of Houston that's doing great things. And I want you to shout out the boys club, but I want to give some love to Marcus Bergantz. Marcus Bergantz is the father of OJ Bergantz, who is an executive with the Baltimore Ravens. He unfortunately had an accident and is in a mobile wheelchair, but Baltimore did a phenomenal job of keeping him involved in the organization, and the team loves him. But Marcus runs, or used to run, a phenomenal league at Bayland Park called Fun Football. And several former professional football players, some even in the Hall of Fame, played through that league. And I got a shout out to the A-Leaf Steelers, to the South Main Mustangs, to the Westbury Redskins, and they're not Redskins anymore. But I got to shout out to those coaches because they were good black men that dedicated and volunteered their time, their talent, and in many cases, their treasures to make sure that those young men and young ladies got some great instruction in football and cheerleading and drill team and all that.
Well, I know you said you had asked some of these players, and they saying that they mostly had white coaches. It's really kind of unfair because, and I know, AJ, our parents didn't make a lot of money. We grew up on the west side, so we had to play in different leagues. Today's time, because of African Americans that have made strides in making more money and being able to move in different neighborhoods, the dynamics have changed some, where they are actually playing in leagues. We played in leagues that, barely had enough uniforms and pants,
Yeah.
to put on.
Yep.
So, and times are changed. Together, my mom them made like $20,000 with 9 kids. So,
Wow.
we weren't living out in Kettering. We came up with the Paxtons.
Right.
John and Jim Paxton. They played in them type of leagues. But
Yeah.
like I said, that's kind of where I came from. I've always been a guy that didn't want that stereotype that that you're a black coach.
Yeah, and I get that, Coach. I get that. In fact, one of the first interviews that I really paid attention to when I was coming up was when Doug Williams, of course, led Washington to the Super Bowl, and the idiot reporter. And I'm sorry, I call him that because I've heard post interviews since then where he literally will not admit that his question was not smart when he asked Doug Williams, "How long have you been, or when did you first realize you were a black quarterback?" And it's like, bruh, admit that you asked the question wrong, or you misphrased it or whatever, but don't double down on that lunacy. I mean, come on now. So anyway, just realizing that Doug was just trying to play quarterback. Doug was just trying to win the biggest game of his life, but yet he was carrying the weight of being the very first one to do it, and bearing the weight of, if he didn't do well, there's the narrative. See, you can't win with a quarterback like that. And they won, and he showed out.
Right. Well, without a doubt, Coach, this is systemic racism in this game. Until we change the faces of the people who's making the narrative of how things go, we're going to struggle, in it. And hopefully, it's tough. And Coach, I was sitting up here and I'm thinking about, with Brian Flores sticking his neck out, and I don't think he'll ever be a head coach in the NFL. I think he might get a good college head coaching job because he is a hell of a coach. I just don't see, and me and you talked about some of the things that's in his lawsuit, some of the quote unquote stuff that happens that you don't talk about, and I just don't see that, and I was thinking, AJ, and I'm going to hit you with this.
All right.
It took white folks to help us get out of slavery. It also took leaders, like Harriet Tubman and Daniel Box Brown and Frederick Douglass. And when you look at Harriet Tubman, and this one been one of my arguments, and she's one of the best black leaders. And I know you be like, well, where's he going with this? She went underground, the Underground Railroad. She would go take a group, put them over there, go back, take a group, go back, take a group. Well, here's my argument about us. I started coaching back in 1986. And they used to put together the top black coaches. And I would see these coaches that and back then, for sure, you had one black coach on offense, one black on defense. But I've never seen them bring people on. Every coaching staff at that time, 90% of the coaching staff at that time only had 2 blacks. And their job was to coach defensive backs, or running backs, do recruiting, and handle the kids, the black kids that was in the program. I know for sure. I've traveled with my brother. He coached in Nebraska, Wisconsin, New Mexico, Toledo, and I followed him everywhere he went. And I never seen those coaches, those black coaches who had got over to bring another coach with them. Whether it was a guest coach, a GA, they didn't bring it with them. So now we roll back 35 years later, we back at the same point. And we don't have guys that have even played quarter in this world. Even in the black college today, in black college, the 21 AA football teams in the country go out and hire white offensive and defensive coordinators. So how do you run the show? How do you give your son the keys to your Ferrari or your friend when he ain't even never been in the front seat?
All right, so let's.
So you give us a reason. And I know I was going far.
No.
But
I love the discussion.
that's
You know, I don't shy away from discussions like that. In fact, that's what makes the lunch break the lunch break. If folks want just nice and Pollyanna, they can go get that where they can go get that. But right here, we're gonna deal with the real hard things that they really don't deal with on a lot of these other shows. Let me take a break, and I'm gonna come back, and I want to discuss it. But now, watch this. I don't disagree with you. I want to have an open discussion so we can kind of break it apart and see what might be there. Can we do that? There it
Yes,
is.
sir.
There it is. All right, we'll be right back with Coach Johnnnie Cole. We're on our HBCU Stroll on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Your car payment treating you. What if I told you you could make a free phone call right now and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Look at your car payment closely. You could be paying as high as 20% interest. Rate Genius can help you reduce your car payments by reducing your interest rate to as low as 2.48% APR. We can refinance most existing car loans or leased cars, new or used, and save you money every month. Put more money back in your pocket. The call is free to find out how low we can lower your car payment. 5 minutes of your time right now could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Call Rate Genius now.
800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. 800-811-4169. That's 800-811-4169. No, applicants qualify for a loan rate savings. Actual offer terms including APR and HO at the time of your application based on credit worthiness, value of the vehicle, loan term, and other factors.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you who need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We're streaming live, kyokradio.org. I didn't have my stuff ready to go. I'm gonna have to get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, Coach.
That's right.
Stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
5 P's, man. Proper planning prevents poor performance.
Well, brother, I wasn't ready, and I didn't. But I didn't make the mistake though. I could have hit something that would have sounded real crazy. So anyway, Coach, somebody just shouted out to the Fun Football League. Thurman Thomas played in that league. Vince Young did play in that league briefly, and the I forget the two kids out of Katy Taylor. They both played in the NFL. They played in that league as well. But anyway, there's some good leagues out there, little league leagues out there.
Yes,
good
yes,
coaches and good organizations and what have you. If you look for them, you can find them.
No question.
To your point, we got Coach Johnnnie Cole with us on the HBCU Stroll. That when the few number of Black coaches get opportunities, whether it be in HBCUs, whether it be in PWIs, wherever it is, even in the pros, that your point is rarely do you see them bring other coaches of color with them.
We don't promote each other.
We don't promote each other.
We don't promote each other.
I don't disagree with you, but I want to ask you this. When I look at what happened with David Culley.
Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Uh-oh, he went away. Why you go away? Willie Gibson, stop messing with Coach Cole's audio and video. Stop it. I know Willie be stepping on the button and hitting the switch and stuff. All right, here we go. Let me bring it back. Can you hear me now, Coach?
Yes, sir.
All right, so when I look at the situation with Coach David Culley, I know we're talking different leagues now. Coach David Culley got brought in as a black head coach, but he literally only brought one coach with him. He did not get to pick his staff. And there's not a lot of times where I've seen a black head coach, especially in the pros, where they get full autonomy to bring in their staff. And I'm just wondering, now it's just me wondering because I've never been on the college level as a coach, if that's the case with some of the college level coaches where they don't have the full autonomy to bring in exactly who they want to bring in.
Well, and I'm sorry to say, Coach, then that's for you as the guy that's coming in to say, well, this is not my team and this is not my opportunity. If you gonna run my team, then I don't need to be the coach. And sometimes we're so gully to get up there. And to me, sometimes, because in the pros, they make a lot of money. Financially, most of those guys, when they make that choice, they've been around the league for a while. And hopefully they're managing their money great enough to where to say, well, then this ain't the job for me.
Now, Coach, you and I have that in common because I've said on this show, I wish more black head coaches felt like they can say, nah, that's not the right fit for me, and literally walk away. But they get so few opportunities that I know, I'm just being real. Some of them I probably would have taken knowing that I was going into that job with both my hands tied behind my back.
I'm glad you say that.
Yeah.
But look at the statistics. It's only one. It's only one been left. 15 years.
Yeah.
And when he came in, of course, he was on the staff. So he already knew the people that he was working with.
But now let's and a good buddy of mine made me aware of this. Mike Tomlin did not even get full autonomy when he first got the job. They kept handing him offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, and it wasn't until I'm guessing, the last 5 to 7 years that he was in a position where he could say, "This is who I want. That's who I want, and that's who I want." Which says a lot because that is the most successful black head coach in the business. And he can't even pick his own staff, for his entire career.
Well, I of course, both me and you are, but I'm saying that he was already in their system.
Right.
He wasn't coming from the outside.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just like a gift for him. He was jumping from this to, okay, hey, here's a head coach of an organization I already know. That's a special situation.
Right.
But if I'm leaving the Bengals and going to the Houston Texans and I don't know nobody, and then you gonna tell me, well, no, you gonna hire this guy. At least I'm gonna have some autonomy to hire some people around me that I know.
I got you. And
then here's the other thing. You got guest coaches. You got scouting people that you can hire.
Right.
Some of these kids that's coming, this boy that just got I shouldn't say boy, young man that just got the job, McDaniels. 15 years in the league, but he's been in one system falling behind one somebody. You know what I'm saying? Why? And here's that's another situation. Even though, quote unquote, he's black, he still ain't qualified more than some of the guys that's been in the league and been around.
But coach, to your point, he's part of a coaching tree. He's part of the Shanahan, Mike Shanahan coaching tree. So Gary Kubiak has hired him. Kyle Shanahan has hired him. He's been around in that coaching tree. So again, to your point, if you're going to bring in your guys, this is a guy that you know. This is a guy
I'm glad. Right. I'm glad you recognize you just said what I opened the show up with about what we don't do.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I don't think we get to say Mike Shanahan, when he take a job, he get to bring his staff with him. Kyle Shanahan has finally gotten to a place when he left Atlanta after he tore up them people's hearts in Atlanta, had them thinking they was going to win their first Super Bowl, and they ended up blowing a 28-3 lead, and he jumped ship and go to San Francisco. When they hired John Lynch, he knew he was going to have the ability to put his staff together. And what did he do? He hired his friends. He hired the people he knew. How many black coaches on the pro level are really in that position?
Shit, we only got one now.
Out of all the ones we had, how many of them have really been?
We only get, you know, I mean, with Mike Tomlin, you know, a guy coached for me at Texas Southern. He's the DB coach over there.
Well, see,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a brother.
Right.
You know, more brothers are, but I just said that we're not building and promoting each other.
Okay,
you know,
so let's do this. Let's do this. I got to take a break, but let's specifically talk about it on the college level, on the HBCU level when we come back. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be right back with Coach Johnnnie Cole. If you want in, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Or you can text me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Or hit me up on email, aj@kyoksports.com. That's aj@kyoksports.com. It's the lunch break.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity, Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises.
Can you hear me?
In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy, and right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business, or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now, and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. That's 800-253-1892.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3.
Can you hear me?
See you
Yeah, I got
there.
you.
Hi,
All right, last
I'm
one.
Larry Scott, host
Hey.
of the Christian and Me Show. Join me
You
Sundays
can't hear me?
for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today.
Can
We're
you
a
hear me?
show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real
Coach, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
All right, go out and come back in.
1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Legendary
I can't hear you.
1140 a.m. and the all new 92.3 FM at kyokradio.org.
This is Jasmine Heisman, and you're having Insider Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Streaming live, kyokradio.org, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and on Roku. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV, and you got us in the middle of some great shows. All right, Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know Willie Gibson is messing with your stuff, man. He tried to text me on the low, talking about I didn't do it. Nah, you did it, Willie. You did it. Whenever I talk bad about Brad Stevens, coach, used to be the coach of the Boston Celtics, or Scott Frost, football coach of Nebraska, the sound always mess up. Always mess up.
Yeah.
So, coach, college, HBCUs. Let's take Deion out the equation. Let's just forget about Deion for a second. Coach Prime. Other coaches that come in. Coach Dooley went from Prairie View over to
Southern.
The coach that went from Miles over to Tuskegee. Now he's the head coach
Russell.
and the athletic director.
Yes.
All right, who did he bring with him?
He brought some of his staff with him, and he coached over there before, so he knew some of the guys on that staff.
So he kept some guys and he brought some guys.
Right.
Did Coach Dooley bring some guys and keep some guys?
Yes, but Coach Dooley again was familiar with Southern. He had been there. He had worked with some of the guys that was already there, and so yes.
All right, the coach that got the Alabama State job, Eddie Robinson Jr.
Yes.
What did he do?
He hired all his fraternity brothers.
What fraternity is he in?
Omegas.
Oh, he ain't gonna win.
Yeah,
he ain't got no nukes on the team. He ain't got 9-1 nuke. Oh,
not one.
Listen, Alabama State, I'm so sorry. Y'all ain't gonna win nothing.
Hey, he got me as a consultant. He got the Kappa brother as a consultant.
Are you a paid consultant though?
Unfortunately not. You know how we always want something for nothing.
Listen, let me go on and mess up my good friend Letitia Jackson's frat brother. They can't step and they ain't gonna be able to win. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
All you got is a bunch of dogs.
Oh
Lord. all they do is bark.
Oh Lord.
Ain't nobody gonna pick up a manual and read nothing.
Oh my goodness. Listen, let me stop. Okay, so now there's another one though. Hold on. Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
Grambling. First of all, I need Hugh to close his mouth, lying through his teeth about what happened with him up in Cleveland. Hugh went from they paid me to lose to, well, they didn't really pay me to lose, but they implied they were going to pay me to lose, to they didn't pay me nothing to lose. So, Hugh, hush. Leave that man's lawsuit alone. Get your name off of it and be focused on Graham.
Well, that alone just killed Flores's lawsuit.
No, it didn't.
You don't think so?
No, not whatsoever. I'm gonna tell you how I know it didn't kill the lawsuit, because Roger Goodell has basically said that the key principles in the lawsuit are accurate. He said the hiring practices of the NFL got a long way to go, and he said they got to investigate what went down in Miami. So,
well, stop right there. To me, that's not accurate. That's saying one head coach, 29 white coaches. You can't argue that, okay? You can't argue.
No, he said that. He said that their hiring practices need a lot of work. They don't have it down, and they don't.
Well, you know, that's just to do this. Yeah, we looking at it.
I agree.
100 years of football.
Yeah,
we looking at it.
Yeah.
The
NFL don't even want to admit that they segregated in the 20s. They don't want to admit that they didn't even bring black players back in until the 40s after World War II. They don't even want to admit that they had roster caps on how many black players they could have on every team. They don't want to admit that. You know,
and they sure don't want to admit when they pull up to the hotel, all the black players had to walk around the building and come through the back. And they probably put us in 4 players in each room.
Brother, don't get.
And when we had to eat, they gave us box lunches out the back.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. When Marvin Lewis was the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, they weren't even feeding the players in the facilities that they owned. They had to order out for food. Let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
So anyway, I digress. All right. So, Coach, what did Hugh Jackson do? Who did he hire?
He hired a defensive coordinator I know for right now from Alcorn State.
Okay.
And he's an offensive coach himself.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he'll handle his offense. I hadn't seen his staff, at all. But guys like that, AJ, and I'm talking about back in the 80s, the things that I heard from other black coaches who was up on that level of Division 1A, Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Yes, sir.
AJ, can you hear me? Oh, how they call it the Chitlin League. How can you coach down there? It's crazy. Now all of a sudden that's where everybody running to. And now we all pallet up. It used to be you used to be proud to go to a black college. I'm a black college man, and I can come back and I can work here and everything. Now that's not good enough, to coach the football team or the basketball team. Now you got to play pro, or you've had to go to some, big PWI school to come back and be the head coach. So, and then now it's getting saturated. It's not being fair for a kid that have came through, and I know the world's not fair, but the few jobs that we've had as HBCU graduates to be able to be a coach, just to be a head coach, are now far between, because now all these guys now are rushing down to the black college level. One thing I say good about Deion, he did raise the salary of the head coach,
right,
as well as the coach at Texas Southern.
Yeah. All right, who is Lyle Cole? Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. All right. Coach Johnnnie Cole got to go off because Willie Gibson messing with his stuff again. All right. Let's see. We're going to get him back, and then we'll go from there. All right. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Trey Pike said JC throwing out props to his brother LC, one of the best defensive minds I know. Yeah, I want to get into that some more as well.
I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. That might be that Boost mobile phone you got, Coach. I might need to upgrade you.
No, when you come from a large family and my son is off in college, I don't have a call from two of my brothers and my son.
Okay. Who is Lyle Cole? Who is that?
Man, that's my let me go back. That is let me see, 8, 7. That's my 6th oldest brother.
Oh, okay. Is he a coach too?
He's a former coach. A school. He's in education. He's probably over my mama's house. Are you?
Not this time.
Yeah. So that's one of my mentors, brother, friend, daddy. I had 8 daddies.
Oh Lord.
I'm the youngest of 9.
Brother Lyle, nice meeting you, man. Now, did you go the HBCU route as well? Tell us your story.
Central State Marauder all day long, class of 83, football player, marketing major. Yes, all the way, believe maroon and gold.
Now, Brother Lyle, tell me, what do you think about the coaching hire that Central State just made as they try to turn their program around and get some HBCU respect back at a very historic school?
Well, I'm just hoping that this guy understands the situation that Coach Porter's gotten himself into. Hopefully he knows the area. If he can get out here and find some of these pedigrees, which we have quite a few here in the state of Ohio, and they commit to the program, he might be able to make a couple of changes. I'm hoping. I just hope that as he writes these checks, we can cash them.
I hear that. Now, a lot of folks don't realize that the Ohio Valley area is a hotbed for recruiting. I'm a Forest Park, Cincinnati Moeller, Princeton High School, Mount Healthy, Dayton Dunbar, Dayton Roth, Columbus East. You know, I know about them schools up that way. So, you know, what does he need to do to make sure he doesn't lose all that talent to, you know, Ohio State can't take everybody. Cincinnati can't take everybody. How does he get some of the best before they go up to those PWIs?
Well, you know, if I had the answer to that question, you know, I would sell it all. But from working with some of these kids, the biggest thing is that he's got to be able to sell them something that they could hold on to. And I would tell any coach coming out, you know, you want to preach football, but you got to teach them about the afterlife and a reason why they need to be in HBCU athletics.
Okay.
Because there's a lot there and there's a lot of opportunities, especially with this thing being exposed by the NFL with coaches. You don't have to be a player to be involved in professional sports if that's what you choose to do. But you have to realize that you got to be able to sell these kids a little bit more and get them to understand. And some of them are buy in.
Yeah, we got the Cole brothers joining us on the lunch break on the HBCU Stroll. The Coach Johnnnie Cole and his big brother, the Coach Lyle Cole. Now, coaches, both of y'all, with this transfer portal, does that make it a little bit easier to pluck some of these kids out of some of these bigger programs?
Go ahead, Lyle. It's your
hey,
15
to me, I
minutes
would
of
say
fame.
no. I think it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It is a no-brainer because what's going to happen is that some of this talent got to go somewhere.
Right.
I mean, just think about it. Despite I don't get into the star, I question this thing with these stars behind people's name. But if I'm a young man that's on a team, on a Division I school team, and I'm number 4 on the depth chart, I didn't go there to drink Coke and eat popcorn on the sideline.
Right.
I want to be on the other side of the field out there making some things. Where could I make it happen? Hit the HBCU right away, and it'll happen for me. That's the way I look at it. There's plenty to go around. Any smart parent will look at the HBCU, and then, like I said, the other side is not just playing football, but don't go there and leave without a diploma or in a situation for a job. And then HBCU schools is a way to go because if you graduate from an HBCU school, you're going to make it. They could put you in any situation because you're going to dealt with it.
No,
so, you know, that's where I look at it. That portal,
you can
me,
tell
it
we
really
came from
helps.
we came from the same womb.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
And I got to tell you, I got nothing but respect for the Cole matriarch and patriarch because education is key for y'all. Brother Lyle, one of the things that drew me to your little brother was how he handled the young man off the field and how he emphasized education and their integrity and stuff like that. That's what drew me to him. And I'm literally hearing you read from the same Bible.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things too is, you know, about the portal. To me, what affects me is the downside. It's the kids that don't meet those standards that the coach have for them, and then now they're called to the office, and their scholarships are being snatched up underneath them. You know, and you know those, and there's going to be a whole bunch of them as well. You know, and I guess what happens to them? You know what I mean? What happens to those kids that can't get another scholarship from athletics? They got to go back home, back to their community, and I guess go to a community school and hope somebody pick them up.
Well, you know, we talked about that with David Grubb, how some of these schools reappropriate these kids' scholarships, and now they got to try to find a way to make it. They got to try to find a way to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Hey, JC, I'm gonna add this one part in there with what you're saying. That's why a lot of these kids need to be in an HBCU school because it's a lifeline. It's you know, we talk education, but you know, our kids need more than just that. It's just like the high school we came from. We were taught more than just making an A or a B, and I wasn't even close to an A or B student. So let's make sure we get that one right. But I learned how to survive.
Right.
All right. You know, you look at some of our are people of color who came from some of these big schools who have problems functioning. And, they're making a lot of money, and some of them are not. You look up, you see that they're struggling because they have not been nurtured enough to get them over that hump. Right. And it creates problems.
Gentlemen, I hate to do it. I got to take a quick break. Y'all stay right there. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up right after this on the lunch break. I got two Cole brothers on the lunch break on the HBCU Stroll. We got the Coach Johnnnie Cole and the Coach Lyle Cole right here on the legendary KYOK. We'll be right back.
Attention, those of you looking to go on a
Man, where you at?
I'm in my house. I was outside working on my lawnmower, and then I came in to take a break.
Y'all ain't in school yet?
Hey, dude, I'm done. I did my 7.25 hours.
You ain't retired.
So, yeah, I hadn't to come. I didn't have to stay over.
You didn't retire. Oh, you didn't.
I got 2 more years.
I got you.
And it's worth over $18 Mexican pesos. Plus,
I'm glad you got your phone back.
Yeah. Yeah. I missed last week.
Yeah, too many people calling me about your phone. So yeah. Hey, I'm trying to put you and Lawrence on on Dunbar's Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
We talk about famous Black people. Dunbar don't have to go that far. I'm going right in house and doing it.
Oh, okay.
Tune into my new radio show called Candid Plug. Every Saturday from noon to 1, we will have engaging conversations on current events, topics that affect the community, and religion. Join me each Saturday from noon to 1 for my new show called Candid Plug, where you plus me equals us, right here on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and streaming live on KYOKradio.org.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYO.
You're having about sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all. We're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We're taking our HBCU Stroll. I got to give some love to one of the first, since it's Black History Month. I want to shout out Paul Lawrence Tank Younger, was the first to be drafted out of an HBCU, Grambling State University. First NFL player from a predominantly Black college, and was the first African-American to become an NFL front office administrator back in, 1949 and 1958.
Wow.
Paul Lawrence Tank Younger out of them Grambling State Tigers. He's from Grambling, Louisiana, so that's like family to me. I got family up that way. So anyway, I got two living legends right now: the Coach Johnnnie Cole and his brother, Coach Lyle Cole. All right, guys, I want your 2 cents. Obviously, we don't have the same problem with HBCUs that they're having in the NFL and with PWIs. But rather than just talk about the problem, what are possible solutions to the problem? Coach Lyle, I'm going to let you go first. What does the NFL and predominantly white colleges and institutions, what do they need to do to literally have more diversity in their coaching and athletic director hires?
That's a tough one, because economics is going to always play a big role in that. And for those that are part of that have not, is going to always have a problem with it, especially people of color, because, they just don't trust us enough. And then on the flip side of it, we got to strive to want to become owners and managers of these programs, and we got to push for it hard. And I take my hat off to Coach Flores, who pushed it out there, because he'll probably, it's a long shot of him getting another job, but he opened up some key doors. And sometimes you need those people to make that sacrifice to open those doors up, and hopefully we put a prop in it and keep that door open. And start trying to work their way. That's why it becomes important that as we become economically strong, that we start pushing for those type of positions, because we know that economics call all the shots no matter what.
Yeah.
And in that 1% up there that wants to deal with athletics, it's showing their true colors right now of what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's, it's the pie of making that successful is of course most of the pie is economics. It's about ownership. But the other part is, what I'll open up the radio show or the podcast show today is about promoting our own. And not only just promoters within the coaching staff, trainers, office people, administrators, secretaries, until those faces change that's in this administration, it's not, and that's what, they're talking about, familiarity, hard people that looks like me, that thinks like me. And that's true. That's a true statement. That's just people, I feel more comfortable, when I'm around, my folks as much as being in one set of form around a lot of white folks, because, it comes down to, what you've been familiar with, what you talk about. I've been on staffs that it's all white and then it's me, and so I got to adapt to that. You know what I'm saying? But until we as coaches start honoring and respecting ourselves on the coaching level, meaning give us coordinator jobs. If we got a job or coordinated a job, go find a black guy that's qualified. You know what I mean? And give them a chance to move forward so they won't continue to use excuses about, well, why should I give you a head job? You've never been a coordinator before. And I know it's not like that in the other, but hey, it is what it is. So I think we can help each other by promoting each other when we do get in those positions and there's a position open, then we should be pushing forward of trying to get a person of color in those positions.
Yeah. Essential Feet said we should not feel like they are giving us an opportunity. Again, we do not realize we have the power to create change, especially if we get the opportunity. And I agree with what they're saying. I want to say this myself, and then we got to go. I believe in ownership. And there definitely needs to be diversity and ownership, but it doesn't solve the problem when you only got a couple of black owners that are hiring black head coaches and black general managers and what have you. If non-black people want us to believe that the process is fair, then hire the best person regardless of what color they are and stop just repeating the same old cycles. And I don't see that happening. And that's why the problem in the NFL is not because you got to make them do it. It's because they don't want to do it.
Well, one other thing with that,
and they're not doing it. Go ahead.
With that black ownership, now we got somebody in the room.
I agree.
So they can't sit around the table and all come agreement. Man, Kaepernick, hey, all raise their hand. Who not gonna let him come back? All right.
But
Kaepernick is out.
Coach, you can't make the one black owner in the building be the snitch. You can't make him be the snitch. The one black owner gonna come out. They don't want Kaepernick. He black for. You know who the snitch is. So you gotta hold everyone accountable. I don't know how to do that, but I do know it starts with diversity and ownership and leadership. And a person should not be made to feel bad because they made the decision that the best person for the job is a black man, a black woman. I give a lot of credit to the Oakland Raiders. Al Davis hired the first black head coach. He hired the first black Hispanic coach. He hired the first woman in the front office. Al Davis didn't care. He went with whatever was going to help that Oakland Raider team beat them bad boys in the West. So anyway, guys, we got to get ready to go. It looks like Lovie Smith is going to be the new head coach of the Houston Texans. That means we now got 3 black in the NFL. So,
hey, that's a mulligan.
You know what that is. You know what that is.
Hey, let's be honest about it. That's America. Hey, look, it's down to the last hour. That's why.
I know it. Hey, Brother Lyle, it's a pleasure meeting you, man. We'll have to have you back on again. Okay, brother?
All right.
Okay.
Coach Johnnnie
All
Cole.
right. Talk to you later.
We'll talk.
That's right. We'll holla.
All right. Okay.
Coach Johnnnie Cole, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, man.
They can follow me on Facebook, also on Instagram at Cold-Blooded9, on Twitter at Hobo Big Play. Appreciate you, man.
I know we didn't talk about it, but I'm looking at these basketball standings in the SWAC. Don't look now. Southern 8-2, number 2 TSU.
Hey, the only teams real quick that's disappointing was Prairie View and Jackson State. They were picked 2 and 3, and they both are struggling. Even on over in the MEAC, you know you got Norfolk now. Don't start kicking some tail. They 6-1 with North Carolina Central falling at 4-1, and then the rest, you know, Coppin State and everybody else got 3 to 4 losses. You know, the only winning team in the SWAC is Southern University. That's got a winning record.
Yeah, let me give some love also to the NBA and to TNT. The NBA announced today the first ever NBA HBCU Classic presented by AT&T. It will be simulcast on TNT and ESPN2 Saturday, February the 19th at 1 o'clock Central as part of the All-Star Weekend. So, again, the NBA, TNT, and HBCU Classic will kick off on February the 19th, 2 o'clock. Anytime we get exposure, what did you tell me? That's good exposure.
Hey, and for your information, the Southern Classic between Jackson State and Tennessee State is in limbo.
I saw that.
And I've talked with some of the people behind the scenes. You know, it's about money. You know, it's about money.
Coach, let me say this now. From what I'm hearing now, and I don't you say that because I don't want you to get in trouble. Don't you say. I hear it's the head of the SWAC that messed this up and is trying to make it all about money. All right, we'll go on that note.
Yes.
We'll go on that note.
What I say, being an HBCU graduate, playing in the game, being a part of that pageantry, you know, again, I can remember some classes that got screwed up, and I could just give you an example real quick. The Bayou Classic is iffy. Hopefully they keep it together. The Thanksgiving Classic, Turkey Day Classic, they blew that up. Now you don't even get 5,000 to 10,000 fans there. They screwed up. They screwed up the Indianapolis Circle City Classic. Some of these classics are tradition. It ain't about the money. It's about the pageantry of two black schools coming together. Right. If you destroy that, you destroying history. You destroying, culture. And I just think it ain't about the money all the time. And I think it's something that they can do to continue that game as well as do the other game in Birmingham.
Yeah, that's why I say you don't want to be too progressive where you get rid of history. And I hope that the president of the SWAC does not be too progressive that he gets rid of history. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying, too.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Appreciate you as always. We'll do it again next week. It's the Coach, Johnnnie Cole, on our HBCU Stroll. Coach, take care. Hey, tell your guy down there to get him some nukes on that roster, on that staff if he wants to win some games.
I sure will. Thank you as always.
All right, love you, Coach. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, y'all. We got to get ready to go. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here to wrap this thing up with what you need to know. Great show. I love good-spirited debates like that. I tell you all the time, we don't always have to agree, but we should respect each other's opinions. So great job by Coach Johnnnie Cole. Pleasure meeting his brother, Lyle Cole, and thank you for all of your comments. As always, y'all, let's not be divided. Let's be united. Got Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He gives you the best in gospel music and the latest in the gospel music industry. I'll be back tomorrow with Talk Your Team Tuesday. We'll get more into the Super Bowl matchup. All right, Sybil Wilkes, what you need to know right here on the lunch break.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, February 7th, 2022. Number one, the murders of our African American men sadly remain in our headlines. They include Ahmaud Arbery, Laquan McDonald, and most recently, Amir Locke, who was killed last week in a no-knock warrant entry by Minneapolis police. Jury selection begins today in the federal hate crime trial of the men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery, and protesters, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson, are calling for federal civil rights charges against former Chicago policeman Jason Van Dyke, who served less than half of his 81-month sentence for the murder of the then teenager Laquan McDonald. Number two, when confronted with questions on your tax return deductions, it's getting all too common for tax authorities to deny everything and then make you prove that your deductions are valid. Don't let this happen to you. Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft has a few ideas to help document and prove your deductions. Check out her article in today's newsletter. Number three, the coronavirus pandemic reached a grim new milestone in the United States Friday, with the nation's cumulative death toll from COVID-19 surpassing 900,000 people. The sheer volume of Omicron cases fueled a surge in hospitalizations that has strained many U.S. healthcare systems into their limits in recent weeks. Data suggests that Omicron may have hit the United States harder than other countries with younger populations, such as those in Africa. Number four, Amir Locke, a 22-year-old black man, was shot and killed by police February 2nd as they entered his downtown Minneapolis apartment on a no-knock warrant. Locke had a right to possess the weapon in his own home and was never given the chance to disarm himself in the chaotic moments as police stormed into his apartment without warning. According to interim Minneapolis Police Chief Amelia Huffman, the county attorney's office is still reviewing the shooting and the police body camera video. Number five, after only 5 years in the sport, speed skater Erin Jackson is number one in the world. In November of 2021, Jackson won her first 500-meter speed skating World Cup race in Poland with 2 track records, making her the first Black American woman to win the World Cup. Read more in today's What You Need to Know newsletter, Black History Salute to the academic scholar as she races against the clock while representing and presenting an example for young girls who look like her watching the Olympics from home. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Being different is not a bad thing. It means that you are brave enough to be yourself. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedians Chris Paul, Huggy Lowdown, and social justice activist Boy Malone as we discuss
1140 AM, AYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, y'all. I really hope y'all enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed my guests today, and definitely always enjoy you guys. So thank you so much, Mike Patton, touring the AFC South. Thank you so much to the Coach Johnnnie Cole and his brother Lyle Cole. And thank you all for always being faithful, just fun, loving followers, listeners, viewers, just good people, man. Y'all make this thing worthwhile. I got some big announcements coming up real soon, so y'all stay tuned. As always, not this, definitely this. We'll talk to you tomorrow.